Hey guys, Dave with Monilogy here. Hope everyone is having a great day. Today's February 12th, 2018, and this is a precious metal sector top stocks video. For those of you who watched our video over the weekend, we did a precious metal sector recap where we pointed out that although the gold and silver might still pull back a little bit because they had some negative divergences that were being created, we still firmly believe that we're in the very early stages of a major bull market that will really accelerate here in 2018 and beyond. So a lot of great opportunities potentially, but at the same time, a lot of these gold charts, gold, silver miners have been absolutely smoked over the last, well, certainly 5 years and even in the last couple of months. So we went through a list of well over 150 names, and we picked out those that we believe have the best technical charts behind them to excel in the weeks and months ahead. So let's take a look at what we've got here. We'll start with Anglo American NG. This one has had a very nice rally from its low of 153 in 2016 to a high of 1267. But it looks like it's just getting started. This is tied to platinum and palladium, and it's got other gold and diamonds as well, as far as I know. But anyway, bottom line is, if this can break above $12, this can really take its next leg higher. It cracked below the 69.70 level in RSI, but it's finding support here, and it's still firmly above the weekly middle Bollinger Band. And should this break above 70 again, this will confirm that this leg higher is indeed coming very soon. And Sanko Gold AKG. This one is interesting. It's kind of like an inverse head and shoulders over here. Now it's above the middle Bollinger Band. What I really like about this, it's just building momentum, stair-step momentum here, and it's basically consolidating right below the 50 on the weekly RSI, and its momentum is higher today, or at the same point today at 91 cents as it was at 105 just a week ago, higher than it was at 114, 128, 165, and so on. This is suggestive of a very big trend change. Look at the momentum. If you just draw a trend line like this was in a downtrend, and that downtrend is now firmly broken. You still want to watch it break a buck, and if it does, that'll be your trigger from a price point to go long. The first immediate target is 125, and I think it's going to go much higher once the PM space really accelerates. So Sanko Gold, one of the better looking charts here. Aveeno Silver Mines, ASM, another one that has broken out of its downtrend here. Did so in July of last year. It's been consolidating above this trend line here, and now it's creating positive divergence here on RSI, and it looks like ready to break 50 on from the downside. So if that does, it also is currently above the middle Bollinger Band on the weekly, but right below the 50 and the 200 weekly moving averages. So there's a lot of resistance here, but if those two break, this can really fly. I would not be shocked at all if we saw 3+ at some point this year. LODE Comstock Mining. This is one that's been killed, crushed, destroyed, obliterated, and every other detail you can think of, but adjective. But something tells me that this trend's about to change. It's found support here, and it's building, momentum here. And it looks like it wants to move higher. With the MACDs now basically above zero right here, stochastics are starting to curl. I just think that, I mean, look, I wouldn't necessarily go long here until it breaks above this uptrend, but I'll tell you what, if this uptrend does break, or downtrend does break, there can be some explosive upside momentum. So keep an eye on this one. I think in the short run, it's a good, I'd say the low point 25 could serve as your stop loss, and the upside could certainly be $1. But if this does break out, look out above. Endeavour Silver EXK, another silver miner. You'll see there's a trend. The silver miners are looking much better than the gold. Again, it's building a stair step on momentum here. It's found support here after this recent pullback at that 40 level, which is precisely the point where it broke out from last time around, right here, above the downtrend here, and I think that it's going to make a run again very soon. If it breaks 2.5 here, that's your trigger on price level to buy and go long. I think it's going to hit 5+ at some point this year. Fortuna Silver Mines FSM, another one that has had a massive run from 2006, a low of $2 all the way to a high of $9.75. Perfect bull flag here for well over a year. Broke out of that and it's been basically consolidating and basing ever since. But now it's starting to build positive momentum here. And although it had a nice run here earlier this year, it pulled back. Now it found support precisely at the previous level of support here, and now it's starting to move again. I like this name here. The risk and reward is well defined. The downside is $4. The upside, really, the first target is 7, followed by a high of 9.75. Gold Standard Ventures, GSV, another one that looks very, very good right now. It's been basing here for a better part of 12 months, but it's building momentum now. And that's positive divergence, and it looks ready to break higher. This moves above $2. This likely runs towards 320 very, very quickly. This has good management so far as I know, and it's got a lot of upside here on a technical basis. Golden Arrow Resources, GARWF, another one that has had very good price action, broke out of this downtrend with flying colors, and now it's kind of consolidated back successfully, met the middle Bollinger Band, met the downside breakout point, and now it's hammering this week. It's now back above 50 on the weekly RSI, and it looks ready to go. So for those of you who want to, this might be a good entry point. If it breaks above 60 cents, another good entry point, likely heads towards 130 in the next couple of months. Great Panther Silver GPL. This is one that for well over a year, kind of expect this to break out, and got done it. It's every time it happens to make a run, it falls back. But it's building momentum. Look, 146 momentum was at 50. 145 momentum was at 60. It's building positive divergence, higher highs and higher lows, and it's going to break this 140 level very soon. And when it does, it will get to 220. I'm pretty darn confident it happens in the next 3 months. Goong Resources, GUG.V, a Canadian play. This one looks very, very good. A beautiful chart from 0.005 cents all the way to a high of 20. That's a huge move. It's consolidated back to 11 cents. It's got this bullish wedge here, and it looks like it's about ready to break higher. And if it does, that's your trigger that to go long. But I think that this will break to the upside. It's consolidating right below the 50 on the weekly RSI. The MACDs are firmly below 0, but they're starting to curl. You see some movement in stochastics. This could be a very good entry point. Downside here is I'd say about 10 cents, and upside is much, much higher. Harmony Gold HMY, another one that's starting to look good. It's consolidating here below $2, but it's building momentum here, positive divergence right below the 50 on the weekly RSI. If that breaks, this can really run hard. I think the first price target is 3, and some significant upside ahead thereafter. Another name on the list is IAMGOLD. I mean, this one has had very nice price action over the last couple of years, one of the best performing in the sector, but it's pulled back some from 725 all the way to a low 511, but it's building. It's got found support here on RSI, and it's starting to curl higher, and we think that if this breaks back above $6, it's going to make a run towards 8 and 11, especially as the PMs move higher. One thing I'll point out is the MACDs are, while they're below 0, they're forming a positive divergence as well. So that's one of the reasons that gives us confidence in our view. International Tower Hill Mines THM, another one that's performed excellently over the last couple of years, broke out of this downtrend, consolidated, and found support on this breakout point here. Breakout trend line, and it rallied strong. Now it's consolidating right below the 50-week moving average above the middle Bollinger Band. If this breaks 50, this one can really move. First price target 80, followed by a move towards that 140, 150 area. It's above the 50 on the weekly RSI. The MACDs are above 0, and this one looks good. McEwen Mining, MUX, another one that looks very, very strong, one of the better managed companies in the sector as far as I know. And it's just consolidated from 486 all the way to the low of $2, but it looks like it wants to move higher. It's building this momentum here. It's curling towards a breakout above 50. The MACDs are firmly above 0, and once this moves on a price level, 250 is that trigger mark that you want to look for. This breaks 250, this is going to head towards $5 at some point this year. Northern Dynasty, NAK. Yeah, I just wanted to take a look at this chart. It's hard to know what to expect from this particular name. I don't know how correlated at this point it is to gold. It had a massive run higher, consolidated lower. We actually sold off our position over here, and then it's just collapsed. But it's found support on that on this trend line here, and so far it's rallied. If this can break above 125, the next price target is 150, and who knows, maybe this particular scare was not really legitimate and things move higher. I mean, fundamentally this has a very, very good story, but there's a lot of political risks, and so that's what you're seeing here. Orca Gold, ORG.V, another Canadian miner that looks poised to really break the 75 mark and move higher into the 1 plus. It's right below the 50. It's consolidated and found support right around this breakout point here. This is important. Where price breaks out is the RSI level that serves as very strong support in the future. So that's where we are here today. No surprise, we found support on the 50, and we're getting set to move higher. Cisco Gold Royalties, OR. This one has had a pullback from 14 to about 10, but it's starting to show some positive momentum, positive divergence at the very least. We've got RSI basically at the same level, yet price was much lower here. And so what this is telling me is that this last price move is not necessarily momentum based, and momentum is not leading. Also, you've got the MACDs showing positive divergence. You've got volume picking up. I think that this one's going to make a run into 2018. Platinum Group Metals, PLG, another one that has been in a nasty downtrend when we participated in a lot of this to the downside, and then it finally broke out higher, and it's consolidated back to that breakout point, and so it's got positive divergence. And so if you want to get into this one, now might be a good time with a stop loss right below this trend line. If it moves above 53, that's another point to buy with a price target of 1, possibly 2, if it can break this 1 level at some point in the future. Sandstrom Gold, SAND, another one of these royalty companies that if gold price moves higher, this can really take off. A great fundamental play. It's built very strong positive momentum here, and if this breaks 5, that's your trigger to go long this entry. SEMFF, SEMFF, another one that's had a nice pullback from 567 to 196. Now it's starting to build a new uptrend. Momentum was leading this move, and it's firmly above the 50 on the RSI. I like the way this looks and is shaping up, and I think that this can make a run if it can break this 200 moving average around 323. Couple more names here. Sabina Gold, another one that we've been high on in terms of fundamentals, but every time it's kind of been getting knocked down. But looks like this wedge is going to be broken, and our hunch is that it's going to be broken to the upside. And if that happens, then this can be a very, very strong move. It's got very, very strong fundamentals, and there's a lot of potential behind this name. Silvercorp Metals, SVM, another silver miner that's been basically consolidating, basing here from $2 to $3 for a while now, but it's building momentum. It's found some support here on that I'd say 40 level, and it's curling towards a break above 50. If this can break $3, then the next move is 4. Breaks 4, that's really that move, that parabolic move higher that we want to see. Southern Silver, SSVFF, another one that's been basing for better part of 12 months. Eventually it's going to break higher. It's got positive momentum here, and it's one of the stronger looking names in the sector. SSR Mining, SSRM, another one that I'm pointing out because it's finding support here around that 8 level, and it's building momentum, positive momentum here, even as it triple bottoms. And so this one is ready to move. A break, this is going to make a run towards 10, but if it breaks 10, this is where the explosive move from 10 to 16 will occur. Tahoe Resources TAO, this has been killed in terms of price, but it's building momentum. Look, lower price points, higher momentum. So this is positive divergence being built here, and so this is going to make a run towards 6 in the not too distant future. Question is what happens at 6. If it can break higher, well, that's a new uptrend that likely begins, and if it doesn't, then probably falls back. But from 4 to 6 would still be a very nice move, and the probability is very high that that occurs in the next couple of weeks. Seco Mines TGB, another one that's had a beautiful run from 23 cents all the way to 246. Pulled back some here, but it's at support right here above this previous breakout point around that 150 level. So it's right above the 200, right below the 50, and it's starting to curl back higher in RSI. Found support precisely where it broke out from last time around here, and so no surprise that that's where the support has been found so far. And so I like this name right here. It's a good risk reward entry play. Anglo Gold TGCDF, another one that is looking like it really wants to move higher. Look, it's got a bunch of hammer patterns here, and it's building very, very strong momentum here. I think this is going to hit double digits potentially this year. Trilogy Metals TMQ, another one that's had a beautiful run, and it looks like it just starting. It broke out of this bullish flag here, and it's starting to move higher once again. And it's now above that 60-61 level in RSI, likely heads towards $3 this year. Finally on the list is Sabina Gold AUY. It's been basing basically for 12 months between $2 and $3. Finally broke out here, consolidated back at this breakout point, and this is a great entry. Coincides with that 50 RSI level. Found support there. This wants to move towards 5 this in the next couple months. If it breaks 5, then there's tremendous upside ahead for Sabina Gold. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your support, and have yourselves a great week.